Once we announce we are leaving, we gain diplomatic leverage with countries that have a self-interest in stability in Iraq. And given the circumstances today, Congress must lead the way out of Iraq. No amount of recommendations by blue ribbon panels, cajoling by elder statesmen, or non-binding statements from Congress will move this intransigent president from his position. We simply can't trust that he will do the right thing when he is committed to policies that have proven to be disastrous for our country. The only realistic way to overcome the president's resistance is for Congress to set a firm, binding deadline to get U.S. troops out of Iraq. I simply have come to the conclusion that nothing but the force of law will compel the president to comply. I have voted repeatedly for a binding timeline to end U.S. military involvement in Iraq, and I will continue to fight for this until we succeed. Real deadlines work. Senator George Mitchell helped negotiate the accord that ended the conflict in Northern Ireland, and he has said he learned about the importance of setting deadlines from his experience in the United States Senate. On March 25, 1998, he gave the parties a 2-week deadline to reach agreement, or the peace process would end. The Good Friday Accord was the result. Without a firm deadline, it never would have happened. As you know, I am a candidate for the United States Senate. Susan Collins and I have served in Congress together for 11 years. She and I both grew up here in Maine. We both deeply love our state and our country, and we both work hard on behalf of our constituents here in Maine. But elections are about choices, and choices have consequences. Susan and I have faced the same choices on the Iraq War. She has voted consistently to support the president's policies. I have voted consistently to change the president's policies. She now advocates a plan to, quote, change the mission for fighting the war that could keep 100,000 Americans in Iraq indefinitely. I opposed this war from the outset. I voted against it in 2002 and predicted, correctly as it turns out, that it would create more resentment and hatred of America in the Islamic world and make us less, not more, secure. For 2 years, I have advocated for a deadline to end the war and put the Iraqis on notice that they must resolve their differences and take charge of their own security because we are leaving. The young servicemen and women from Maine I met at Combat Outpost X-Ray in Iraq, Bagram Air Base in Afghanistan, and other locations in both countries make us all proud. They are talented, dedicated, and show more courage than I can possibly convey. They've done everything they've been asked to do, and it has been a job well done. They were sent to Iraq to topple Saddam Hussein, and they did it swiftly and decisively. Because of bad judgment, inept management, and disastrous decisions by the President and past Congresses, our troops are now caught in the middle of a religious civil war with no end in sight. The people of Maine, I believe, don't want another compromise on how to fight the war. They want leadership to end it. They want leadership to plot a new course in Iraq and throughout the region as the best chance to bring some stability to that war-torn area. And they want leadership to redirect our attention to the real threat to our national security, militant Islamic terrorism. The war in Iraq poisons every aspect of our foreign policy and undermines our important domestic priorities. We can wait no longer for success from a policy that the President conceived erroneously, conducted ineptly, and stubbornly refuses to change. We must change direction to protect the future safety and prosperity of the American people. Thank you.